Hello. If you press this video, it's because you have a great bottle that I actually have the glass here with me of Chenin Blanc from Ribafreixo producer. It's a wine that is quite fascinating and very different. This grape, it's not a Portuguese indigenous grape, but it's someone that Mário, the owner of Ribafreixo, fell in love. I'm not going to give you a lot more detail about it because we have quite a long interview with Mário speaking about the love that he has for it. I love it as well myself. I think it's quite rich, quite creamy, with a lot of texture, but a very different expression of Chenin Blanc. Probably the only one in Alentejo, so Portuguese Chenin Blanc in your discovery case. Experience and enjoy the evening.
Hi Mario, nice to meet you again or see you again. It's been a while.
Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. I believe you had a wonderful holiday in Portugal.
Yes,
I'm sure you had lots of sardines and good sun.
And nice wine.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us because it's a busy time for you now, isn't it? It's harvest time.
And it's Alentejo. It's very hot, I believe.
40, 41, 42, at best 38. So today, the temperature maximum today, 33 degrees will be the maximum today. It's 27 degrees right now. And it's going to cool off. It's going to cool off 2-3 degrees for the next 2 or 3 days, and then it comes back again to 35, 36. So the weather has really cooled off. The weather has really cooled off. I just waved to Paul Ariano, who just came here to try to taste some wine.
Say hello to us. Paulo is the winemaker for all of you that are watching.
Yes, that's right.
So Mário actually is the owner and started all this project, and he worked with Paulo Laureano, a very well-known enologist in Portugal, and also with Nuno Bicó, I believe, which is a lovely man that knows very well the fields and the Alentejo as a region for agriculture, I believe. So very,
this may lead us on to how we started this whole story. I met Nuno in hunting for hunting partridges, and this was I came from South Africa in 2004, and we started this business in 2007. Nuno is an agronomist. I really believe that a good wine begins with the planning. Not many people can say that the winery they have here in Portugal, at least, that it was really a greenfields project, that was started from scratch, because of the fact that we chose the climate, Vitigator, which is a microclimate. We bought the land, and we chose the land that we wanted with the type of soil that we wanted, which is schist. And so and then obviously Nuno's hand is really heavily
hands-on.
Hands-on. The vineyards really say a lot about what he thinks and what are his ideals about. He's also a friend of the earth. One of the reasons why we're vegan, we have something called integrated production, which is a halfway house between organic wine and standard agriculture. And that's a standard that it's a EU standard that a lot of people don't apply, but we apply. You cannot use certain pesticides. You cannot scarify in between the lines. Only the line is cleaned. Obviously, we cut and we found out very good things about that. Not just the idea of not doing that is because you want to retain the soil for no soil erosion. But we've come to the conclusion that the fact that there is this life in between the lines, with all the insects and a cycle of life there, we find that we have very few problems with disease. If we get it, we started noticing this over the years. If we get it very lightly compared to our neighbors, or we just get it really in the periphery. And we've come to the conclusion that it's this non-scarified line is you could call it a vaccine against all the plagues that one can get or not. So we avoid the plagues, so it costs us less money. The less pesticide you throw in, the better. It also has to do with the way things were planted initially, the cultivars that we chose, the actual rootstocks which we have. So everything was scientifically planned, and our plans running all the way from that to our marketing, how we were going to make the wines and how we were going to sell and export and so on. Everything fell into place, except the fact that there are things that you cannot foresee or know, and it was the thing, the fact that our ancestors were not the ones who put on the winery here, and we don't have any duke or aristocracy who own the winery, which seems to be very important. And so our brand name took a long time to take on and to get traction. So we started this in 2007. We started by doing the planting, and there's nothing like having a winery started from scratch, because you really have to, being schist, you have to really tear the ground, because there's a lot of rock, and you got to do a lot of drainage. And so we've done things from scratch, and we actually chose the climate that we wanted, which is Vidigueira. Vidigueira is a microclimate because of this mountain range that comes from the Atlantic and cuts across and brings this very cold current of cold air through to Vidigueira, and normally to just pass through just like it does before it gets here. But by a quirk of luck, and that's why we have a microclimate, is that the Vidigueira does like an umbrella kind of hook. So the winds smash against there, and they swirl around Vidigueira, creating a microclimate, which what it does is very, very specific for whites, for the simple reason that the first and foremost condition for a good white wine region is the difference of temperatures between night and day. Yeah, and these are really very, the difference is very big, and both in summer and winter, and therefore that gives us the freshness, the acidity, and of course schist. Our soil, our terroir is the immature schist, which it's not going to mature for the next 150 million years. So we're okay, and it really gives us minerality. I see you got a bottle in your hand there.
Yeah, the Chenin Blanc.
When we decided to plant what kind of cultivars we wanted to put on, we decided to go for the Alvarinho, because people, when they drink our whites, they say, gee, Alentejo, how can you have freshness like this in the Alentejo? Well, it's the micro-region that we've got. So we decided to go for the Antão Vaz, for Alvarinho, for Verdelho. Verdelho is a really very, very, very special case. Verdelho disappeared from Portugal with the phylloxera, and it only remained in Madeira. And that's why all the Madeira wines have a lot of Verdelho. So it was brought back into the continent about 30, 40 years ago, and we've got Verdelho. So then I looked, coming from South Africa, the wine that I really like to drink, the white wine, was the Chenin Blanc. But I knew a lot of friends who had wineries there, and some of them were colleagues or competitors in the field that I was in those days. And they said, we just wish we had more Chenin Blanc, because that we sell it all. We planted it here, much against, Paul Lorien railed against it, Nuno railed against it. And I said, listen, you just plant it, because if it doesn't work, we just cut it and we graft it again. Well, it's a champion. We planted only one. I wanted to plant 3 3 hectares. We only planted 1 hectare. So we never exported this wine because it was absolutely just taken up the single acre that we had. And quite a few years ago, we planted another 3 hectares. We got 4 hectares now. So we're producing 25,000 bottles at the moment, and it'll go up to about 30,000. This year, it'll be still about 25,000. And it's a champion wine. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to taste it since we've sent you the wines. And it's one of my favorites. And you know, it's important that your clients understand I'm not a wine expert. I'm not an enologist. I'm a guy that learns very quickly. And what I don't know, I get a consultant to do it, or I get experts to do it. And as years go by, I kind of learn. But I keep on making observations and comparisons, which are not likely done they're not industry standards. The professionals don't do it that way. Well, I look at my Chenin Blanc and I say it's the most French of all our white wines. It has there's another vineyard now that plants a Chenin Blanc. They've just started. It's also very small, so now. Sorry. No. Somewhere up in Lisbon way. No, that wine is simply done exactly like the only aged in oak wine that we've got is the Anton Vaz Grande Escolha. I think I sent you a couple of bottles in the middle of your last order for you to try. Normally the Chenin Blanc is a little bit buttery. I'm not saying that I liked it because that's what I had in South Africa. But over here, it didn't come out like that. It came out very dry, and that's because of the terroir. No question about it. The minerality and so on.
That's what you bring a little bit from your past years in South Africa.
Yes, that's why we call it connections, because that's my connection to South Africa. Okay, Paulo, you going? Come and just come and introduce yourself. I'm talking to Marta and Kevin from Marta Vines. This is Paulo Ariano, our enologist, and it just interesting that I managed to get you.
This is an interview we are doing with Mario, Paulo. I never met you personally the times I have been over there.
Well, now you have the opportunity for that.
Exactly. And not just me and Kevin, but also a lot of people that are doing this online tasting. And tonight we are trying this one, Beauty Here, Connections.
Yeah, that's quite related with Mario. He is the man responsible for that wine. I just help to put it in the right way, but it's interesting because Chenin Blanc has a quite good behavior here in Alentejo. It likes very much the schist soil that we have here, and normally the minerality increases a lot with this kind of soil. Of course, our climate is hot, that makes the flavor a little bit more mature, more round, but it's in fact quite interesting, and I believe that it's probably one of the most interesting Chenin Blanc that we are available here in Portugal. Of course, I'm suspected to say that, but I believe that it is.
You have to be allowed.
Well, thank you. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you, Paulo.
Thank you.
And when you have the opportunity, just come to taste with us. Okay?
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Paulo. Obrigado. Okay. So,
well, thanks
you
again.
So thank you very much. I appreciate your faith in us, and we will always be there to do our best for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.